name is Thomas. I'm working on the RC team with Georgios and other 3 people that you see later. We have worked a lot on this event because we think that the cross-chain space really needs competitors basically to get in the same room and start discussing some open challenges we have, so that we can start designing together a process to advance it and to agree on some principles and on how to avoid fragmentation, how to solve open challenges and so on. So we try to basically set up a safe space where experts can actually come in and share their thoughts. So while you see a camera recording, our plans are basically to stop it the moment the roundtables actually start. So you can free your opinion. No one will be recording. So whatever you say here will basically stay here. The recording will just be done for the lightning talks and for the introduction. You can show maybe the next slide. We show you the agenda in more details. So in a few minutes we'll have Martin from Gnosis, introducing the reason why we're here, like security challenges in the space and some of the ideas around on how to address it. And later we have a moment where everyone will be able to basically introduce himself and the project they work for, so that if later you plan to hopefully participate in the discussion actively, it will be easier to understand who is who and who works on what. So please don't be shy when it will be time. Say your name, the project you work for, and so on. Later we'll have some lightning talks. Lightning talks are not something that has been really pre-planned much. We gave everyone the opportunity to speak. So if anyone, even last minute, wants to say something about their project with or without slides, lightning talks are just an opportunity not to share your project, please, but to focus on technological advancements, on interesting efforts you are doing to advance the space. So we'll have a couple of presentations in the first part, and then we start with the core part of the event, which are basically those 2 roundtables. So the roundtables are a moment where there will be a moderator. The moderator is not part of our team of the Cross-Chain Interoperability Alliance in Novashi. They are independent, so they understand this ecosystem really well. Sebastian has been in the space for how many years? Way too many.
Since Genesis.
Since the Genesis block. And so he will be just facilitating the discussion. So there are some topics that have been collected basically during the Luma registration. So we have tried to basically aggregate them a little bit, just to have some ideas on what to start discussing. But then if you want anything to be picked up and actively discussed, please just say it, and we can see what everyone thinks. So there will be a first one focused on interoperability and UX, and then there will be a very short break for networking, coffee, stuff like that. Then other 2 lightning talks, and a second one for the roundtable. Roundtable discussions, those 2, last half an hour. Let's try, to stay in that time, because unfortunately we need to leave this room at 5. The second one is focused on security and governance. At the end, we just try to summarize what was discussed, and we try to basically agree on some actionable next steps, and that's pretty much it. So thank you for your time, for being here today, and I will leave Martin to his speech and his. Thank you.
Cool, yeah. Also from my side, thanks all for coming. So maybe out of just to give you context, so Hashi, the idea came kind of out of Gnosis, but now it's meant to be it is turning into its own independent project. But I basically just want to give you a bit of the background of how that came. So obviously, also the chain, we have a bridge, and the main kind of bridge for the network, the Omni Bridge, currently holds $350 million or something like that. And of course, as you all know, security is a big concern. So far, the bridge has been using, or still, for years, the bridge has been using effectively, you can call it a committee, but yeah, kind of multi-sig, like many bridges use in the beginning. But now, of course, I think already 1.5 years ago or something, it became quite clear that the way to improve bridge securities is to change to light client based bridges to validate the consensus of the other chain. And I think many of you, well, I think all of you are aware of that this is now possible to have those ZK light clients. And of course, that in that setup you can get rid of the need for multisig essentially. But when we were concretely faced with the decision, okay, now we have this bridge that is running for many years without an issue, and now we could switch to this new thing that is theoretically better, but still new. It was absolutely not an easy decision, and I think the numbers also speak for themselves. So if we just look historically at bridge hacks, so I think in total there have been like 2 billion worth of bridge hacks, and only 25% of that value lost was lost because of compromised keys. The absolute majority of the funds were lost because of smart contract bugs. And of course, a more complex system like this ZK Lite client is in no way reducing, or you can even argue that that's more likely to have a smart contract bug compared to the simple kind of multi-sig solution. So yeah, that's, we can scroll down to right. So basically we came to the conclusion, okay, it's not clear that this very small here, that the ZK Lite client bridge is inherently, or kind of, if you factor in all things, then it's not clear that this is strictly better than the committee-based ones. But again, of course, we want to get rid of committee-based bridges, and we want to advance the space. But yeah, so that's essentially how we came up with the design for Hashi, to say, okay, we should really kind of not exchange one trade-off set against another set of trade-offs. We should combine them and really increase the security and really focus on security, because I think bridge hacks have really been a pain for the whole space. And even if the security comes at the cost of potentially things like liveness and speed and costs, we do believe that we need to have some foundation that absolutely focuses security. If you want things like speed and cost, then there are plenty of ways, which also you all know, kind of liquidity bridges, or there are all kinds of things you can then build on top to improve. But we simply, in our view, need this extremely secure, extremely focused on security as this foundation. So the design is essentially very simple. Saying, okay, we can have many of those, what we call them here, block header oracles, because that's kind of really the core information you need to get is what's the header. If you can agree on the header of another chain at a specific height, then everything else can be derived from there through proofs, and you all know that. So if we can have multiple block header oracles, so we can have ZK Lite client ones, but even there, I think right now, probably already in this room, there are like 4 or 5, I think probably right now there are like 8 ZK Lite client teams. So even there, of course, greatly can increase security to not only have one, but to have essentially multiple implementations. but then you can still mix it with maybe committee-based ones. And of course, we also need to, or kind of every bridge solution that really tries to work across the space, well, simply needs to consider the reality that there's Ethereum, there's layer 2s, but there's still kind of all kind of other chains where you might or might not have a ZK line bridge. So the space is certainly very, kind of heterogeneous. So a solution needs to be generic enough to support, all the cases. So again, the solution is many oracles, and you basically, you should agree on, or all the oracles should report the same thing, because if they don't, then clearly there's a big problem. If they don't, if they say kind of this slot number has a different header, then you immediately, basically all warning signs are basically then the whole thing. If you are serious about prioritizing security, you have to stop it or kind of intervene. And that's of course when governance comes into play. But again, of course, in this setup, we don't have to give governance any rights by default. So we can come to a situation where governance cannot just on their own halt the bridge or force the bridge or has any right whatsoever, only in case there is conflict. So basically only in case one of the vetted and trusted mechanisms to get the headers report something different, then of course it's better to have governance kind of be a resolution force compared to run into some potentially catastrophic failure mode. Cool. So last thing I want to mention is I think the need for secure bridges is obvious. I don't need to really explain that. But one perspective we also certainly have, or we now looking with a different head. So of course we also working still quite close with SAFE and SAFE trying to do counter abstraction solutions. And of course, as you all know, smart contract account only exists in contrast to an EOA, where you have the same address on all chains, or can have the same address on all chains. If you have a smart contract account, you don't have a representation of that on all chains. So really the solution would be that your identity, your smart contract account is built or is kind of connected into a bridge solution, which then allows you to have representations on all other chains. And again, if you come to that level where basically all your funds really depend on, or your user identity depends on that bridge solution, again, it needs to be secure, and probably you don't want to log in just into one system. So Hashi feels like a good foundation to also enable cross-chain interoperability for smart contract accounts. Maybe last comment. So I think the whole this event is very much needed, because more and more this opinion is people are sharing it. Is, are we really scaling Ethereum? So we have now plenty of layer 2s, which are in reality all kind of their own separate chains, and there is hardly any standardized way there's right now there is no standardized way if you are on one layer 2 access state on another one, and even within the layer 2s that's not true, but of course in reality we also need to consider chains like non-layer 2 chains. I think again the need for standardization and bridge standards I think is quite obvious. So much as an intro from my side.
Thanks, Martin. So the reason why we asked Martin to introduce how the idea of Hashi came to be is that we feel like Hashi is one of those efforts that basically is so thin and so non-controversial that is a great starting point. So there are other initiatives that try to do Oracle aggregation, we have studied them, And we are happy to dive deeper, maybe compare them or understand pros and cons of each approach. The reason why we think ASHI is like a good foundation is that it's like basically from our analysis between 5 and 10 times thinner than alternatives. And since normally as an ecosystem, I think unfortunately one of the downsides is that we have failed to agree on much over time. Something so thin seems like a good starting point to have a discussion, and maybe build additional layers, additional standards, and something future-proof, outside of it. So yeah, thanks again for giving this introduction. As he was briefly mentioning, also something I want to stress is that ASHI was born within Gnosis, but like the ambition is basically to make it grow as an industry-wide project in an open fashion. So having an open discussion on how it should look like, how it should evolve, and what specific needs it should address. So that's also the reason why we're here. We don't want to propose standards that are built behind closed doors. We want standards to be, built with open discussions, following a public process, and getting people who understand, the ecosystem, which basically are the cross-chain leaders, so you, to discuss those challenges and, convert those ideas into actionable results, meaning code. Talk is cheap, as we all know. So that's why, we think code should, be the obvious next step for anything that gets discussed around new standards. So thanks again. Now Giulio will briefly introduce himself. I met him a few years ago in the space. It was quite, I remember, weird encounter for me because he has been working on researching oracles and bridges for a few years now, and some of the challenges, but he comes from outside of the ecosystem. So I think he's a good person, neutral person that comes from like the academia, from the university world, who can actually, help with the introductions of everyone in the room first, so that everyone can, the space they deserve to introduce themselves, and then we move on with the actual narratives. Thank you.
Hi everyone. I believe you are enjoying that connect, as I am. I believe also that many of you don't know who I am, because I don't belong to any project, as I say, and I'm an assistant professor from University of Turin in Italy, and my main focus is oracles and how to address the oracle problem in different real-world applications and also bridges. But lately, I was also interested in another issue that came out also when we did the first Blockchain Oracle Summit. I was one of the hosts. That I noticed that many of the speakers and also many of the writings give a different definition of oracles in general, and I thought that could hinder conversation and also development of oracles, because of course if I get in here and I tell you I'm a developer, I'm developing an oracle, so probably what I mean is something totally different from what you understand, okay? And this alters the conversation, this creates great barriers. For this reason, I also lately published a paper that investigates the origin of the oracles from the first days of Bitcoin till the advent of Ethereum. So what was an idea of Bitcoin interaction with the external world, the first idea of contract by Nakamoto, and the first appearance of the word oracles on the Bitcoin wiki, and the evolution of the concept with the first oracle project. And the fact is that I found that this taxonomy heterogeneity also belongs to other words, for example, smart contract. If you ask any developer what is a smart contract, you will get 100 different definitions. And lately, I found this also for the field of interoperability. I was at another conference like some days ago, and people from the same team, I asked, what is a bridge? And they gave totally different definition. And I think this can alter our conversation today if we have all different idea in our mind of what are bridges or what are other things. So, of course, now a good thing to initiate our conversation, our roundtable, would be to introduce ourselves. But what I thought is that about telling just our name, role, and the name of the project, maybe we can add just a few words to say what is the definition of our solution. For example, what is for me is a bridge, or for me is something else, and just what it does. So our solution in the interoperability field, how we call it, and what it does. I think this will greatly help our conversation later. And we can do this 30-40 seconds each, probably. And, well, you can start actually. Who wants to start? Please.
Hello everyone, Arthur from India. I'm there because I'm interested in basically knowing how we can improve user experience for bridges. And so the bridge for Linea is really simple. It's a native local means which does message passing and also token bridging.
Good. Okay, who's to be the next?
Yeah, hey guys, I'm Nick. I run Teller at Oracle. Yeah, we probably define oracles as something kind of a way for coming to consensus on things that are already defined.
Okay.
Hi, I'm JB. I'm from Cleros, and we started working on our own bridge called VIA. It's an optimistic bridge for a niche use case from optimistic rollups to other chains. And it tries to be faster than the canonical bridge, so faster than 7 days, without compromising too much security.
Yeah, I was asking you to bring a microphone. Maybe it's better that everyone passes the microphone so we can hear that. Yeah.
So it's an optimistic bridge, which is for a niche use case from optimistic rollups out egress. And yeah, so it tries to be faster than the 7 days canonical bridge without compromising on security. So we want to monitor it.
Perfect. Okay. You can pass the microphone.
Yeah, sorry, I missed the point.
Okay.
Therefore, I go through answer me. Yeah. Hi, I'm Taiyan from myself, Sound.5, and we are a Consortium provide service. And now we provide more than 30 different machines in Consortium. And I think we are a leading Consortium provider in China and Southeast Asia. Yeah. That's all.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Igor. Actually, I'm a Gnosis supporter, so my daily work is not related to bridging, but I'm very excited in discussion. And basically, I'm working on doing things around the chain, mostly like interrelated. And that's all.
Okay, thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Luca from Twitch Community. It's a DAO, special DAO in the travel industry. In terms of bridges, we just users. We just recently bridged the new token to Gnosis, which was very easy, permissionless, and the volume, which we had to ask for permission through a mapping system. So, as a user perspective, I understand what you mean. That bridges are, the name is very
very broad. Very broad. Yeah.
looking forward to learn a bit more about it.
Should be more clarified. Okay.
Yeah, actually I'm Casey and I'm also from Decentralized. We focus on stablecoin payment. We focus on stablecoin cross-chain, both UAM and non-UAM, and we use hashtag log to process the to solve the cross-chain bridge.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, yeah, I'm Philip. I work with Gnosis as well, not in the bridges department either, so yeah, I'm just listening in basically.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Dave. I'm with Cartactic. Mostly user of bridges. We use bridges pretty much every day, and just very interested in Hashi and how also improvements in bridge technology like
reduce risk in general by the use of those bridges. So excited to put them out there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sebastian. I'm not working on bridges, working Hopper. Following your lead, what is it called? We work on transport layer, which is different from what bridges understand as that.
Yeah.
What works is you send data packets that are being relayed via multiple intermediate nodes for ring privacy. But again, not bridges.
Thank you.
My name is Sam. I'm working on Hyperlane. So yeah, interoperability protocol. We have very similar kind of goals to Hashi, so I'm very looking forward to this roundtable. But yeah, the idea behind being very agnostic to a security model and supporting many different models and allowing applications building on top to kind of like not be kind of vendor locked in is very interesting. Yeah, looking forward to pushing that option, I guess, to developers.
Great.
Yeah, I'm Georges, one of the guys working on Hashi, and I was just over here because I'm going to have a presentation there.
Hello everyone, I'm Alessandro and I work on Hashi too.
Many turn.
Yeah. Hi everyone, I'm Zeng and I'm working on Hashi and also the bridges team for Gnosis chain, and like the bridges we maintain is mostly AMB, which can enable arbitrary message across Ethereum Gnosis chain, and we have Omni bridge, which is a token bridge built on top of AMB, and also the XDAI bridge, which we bridge DAI from Ethereum to XDAI on Gnosis chain. And I think bridges is not only the smart contract side, but infrastructure side of blockchain is also very important. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Jake. I work on SitApps. Really interested in how we could make a more agnostic future because the standards are getting out of hand.
Hi everyone, my name is Peter Kim. I'm one of the co-founders for Polymer Labs.
Hi everyone, my name is Bo. I'm also one of the co-founders for Polymer Labs, and we're looking to bring IBC interoperability to Rolos.
I'm Susanna. I'm the product lead for the IBC team at the Interoperability Foundation. IBC stands for Inter-Blockchain Communication Protocol. It's been one of the oldest and long-standing protocols used predominantly in the Cosmos ecosystem, but it can actually be extended to any heterogeneous state machine.
Thank you.
I'm Sardar, also working on IBC. It works with basically each chain has a representation of the live client of the other chain. So we don't actually rely on any kind of external staking mechanism in order to secure the bridges. I'm interested in like live client interoperability.
Hi, I'm Bogdan. I work for Agave Finance, so not directly with bridges, but I'm excited to be here anyway. Same, I'm with you.
We love bridges.
Hi, I'm Greg. I'm one of the co-founders of ChainSafe and Sigma. We focus on like bridge level security and offering like varying solutions to that. To answer your question, like for us, a bridge is defined simply as a Oracle service that's just relaying data that cannot be natively computed on chain. And I think that's like the definition we go with respect to Oracles as well. And like not computable on chain is just simply like it cannot, the source of that data cannot be found there, and that's why you need an external relay service to push that there.
Hey everyone, Kaido with Layer. I'm mainly here as the author of one which is going to be implemented as the governance bridging protocol for Uniswap. And we recently had a showcase audit, and I'm also on the receiving end of ED here from Platform Bridges. To answer your question, I don't know exactly, but I know the full consensus snarked proof is not a bridge or a protocol. So we'd love to hear how different people feel about bridges and how when full consensus CK snarks come in, what do they bring to the table. Yeah, I'm here mostly interested in the tension between a standard that we all can share and how we can lock in the unbridged customers. Because I feel like a lot of solutions would benefit from standards, but at the same time, a lot of solutions would be really hurt by standards. So how can everyone here, when a lot of us have venture-backed companies, can have incentive at the same time work with each other? Very interested to hear about the people here.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Pascal from Acros. We're building a decentralized blockchain execution layer, leveraging co-processors of mobile hardware for like generalized compute, where more code is approaching as fast as essentially one of the uses.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ian from JSAFE.
Can you?
Hello, I'm Ian from JSAFE. Greg already answered the question. I'll just say hello.
Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Mark, also from Sigma, and created the hardware. But I'm not interested into speaking more standards in space, and also how we can increase transparency of the space.
Thank you.
Hi everyone. My name is Matteo. I work for Network. It's a cross-chain bridge, and we are always focused on inclusiveness. So for me, bridges should include as many chains as possible, as many ecosystems as possible. And and recently we are focusing very much into decentralization. So this is also something very important aspect that we care about.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Ross from Rhino Finance. We are an app that has a bridging service. We're very much in the retail end of the spectrum, built on top of assets that have already been economically bridged to other chains. So I'm really interested in anything that improves UX and just user experience, really.
I'm Zachary, I'm a team leader of Nico's project, the Druid project. The Druid project aims to replace the Oracle compliant listing bridges with the zero-knowledge server, implementing the consensus protocol of Ethereum. And currently this means implementing the lifetime thinking protocol, but in the near future we will see close approximation of the Casper FG finalization.
Thank you. I think everyone introduced. Okay. You are behind me, you know.
Hey everyone, I'm Matthew. I work at Connext. Connext is a modular interoperability protocol. We operate an optimistic bridge that leverages underlying AMBs, and we're also working on open token standards.
I think everyone introduced themselves. I don't use microphone because I give lecture normally, so I have the voice is trained. So I will leave the space for other. Oh, okay. You just appeared. Like I see that maps out the system.
Hi, my name is Dragan. I'm the founder of Kinetics Network, and we maintain an intent-based solution for market makers. And here is my partner, Mike.
Okay. Yeah, solution Kinetics.
Is there anyone that needs to introduce themselves? I think not. Well, as I said before, I will leave the space to the next moderator. And just another thing, I'm working on another research on the history of interoperability. So if you think you are the first to launch some solution in the interoperability field, and you are maybe the oldest to work on that, please come to me, and I will be happy to talk about your project in my next research. Okay? Thank you.
See everybody kind of here and speaking about like different subjects. I think we do this more often. My name is Mark. I work for Sigma. We are like an interoperability layer between different chains. And I would say the thing actually that I want to talk about is kind of the challenges that we can solve with integrating EVM and substrate chains, and kind of how we decided to take this approach of integrating only to kind of a hub on substrate and using the kind of native connectivity in that ecosystem with this CMP, and kind of using this to further communicate across like different parachains. But what I want to do is like the rest 2 minutes that I have is I really want to highlight the lack of transparency, in my opinion, that we have in this field, and kind of how everybody should be much more transparent and not try to hide behind kind of
lacking documentation or lacking information on how their system works, thinking this will bring security. I really think that everybody should be much more transparent, and even like on stupid stuff, like how many companies out there are showing their multisigs and who are the people behind them. I know that some people think like the way forward is to hide all of this, but I really believe the only way for security to be kind of for all of these security assumptions to make sense is to make everything public, open source, and kind of out there, so it can be actually battle tested. Because if you're just hiding behind walls, sooner or later you're going to be wrecked. Yeah, that's it.
Today I will not go too deeply in tech. I want to talk a little bit more about the business model of bridges and end users. So why we do it, and like what is the current stage of DeFi right now, and how we would like to see it in the future. I don't know. Can you please advise me how to move slides?
Say next. You can say next.
We are in Syntax right now focusing on not EVM and EVM blockchains which can be connected together, and for the end users, like in a way of instant swaps. So when we can talk about one block of information, this is our goal, what we are doing right now. And the common problem is just usually every user face, like in general. First, of course, all of them talking about the security, and security, I think we can divide this into two groups. The first is like some kind of centralization, when we talk about validation and messaging. And also the problem is graph assets, because there's a lot of different like vectors of attack, how we can try to check this. Also we have problems with the price change, because there is no fixed rate. We usually need to use a combination of text and images, have price linkage and tools, price impact, slippage tolerance, and there is no fixed rate, so we cannot guarantee like some kind of atomics here. Also, we have a problem with the legends, because we always need to switch wallet, connect it, keep it gas in each network, and it's really hard to explain to user why it's they need to keep it gas and how it's calculated, how it's estimated, like all of this code. So what we're seeing right now is some kind of solution for this can be intent-based model, so where we can delegate it. So one of the most important things that we have a different group of users. Some of them professional and some of them not. Some of them have, for example, like $100 in the wallet, and others can have millions of them. And we cannot really recognize all of them right now in the front end. So what we can do, we can delegate this to some professional players. Like, also need a layer for this, who can help us. At least if you talk about like institutional model or any other integrations with the traditional economics, they're also asking about like, all the stuff of like IML report, and this is also the problem which should be solved in the future. So how we see right now that I will not go too deep today because I don't have enough time. But usually what we have a user who have an intent. And we need to send this intent to some kind of decentralized network, because we need to at least have an outshone where all the players can be notified and they can start to do some competition. also need to have a layer who can help us from different kind of ways of attack, false challenge, and we need to have the best possibilities of price which we can get. So, for example, with always they can, one of them have strategy with the C5 liquidity, another with the borrow liquidity, own liquidity, whatever. So, how's it work? So, in the model that which we right now building, and it's already in a private mainnet. So, we have a user who send a request to the pool of different market makers. It's fully public. We request the quote, receive quote, and the user need to sign it. At the same time, the market makers they lock the collateral. Collateral is always higher than the amount of swap. And after we have like sometimes for market makers, we provide in our current model we provide 90 seconds. We build it according to the organization of blocks and the security model. I think it's secure. Market makers they will do all the actions. So they will pay gas, they will withdraw funds, and they will also make a transaction in the destination networks. And as a result, we have two on-chain transactions. Because the one on-chain transaction was withdrawn by the market maker, and the second transaction was sent. And we don't need to use intermediates in this way. So we don't need to pay each transaction to validate it. And this is really kind of some kind of different status how we can see situation of moving asset and moving liquidity. If everything passes and the market maker completes the transaction, we don't need to pay or wait for this. But if something goes wrong, in this way we need to go a little bit more deeply in tech. And right now we understand how we can make a product from the hardship. We can use a combination of this. For example, like for L2 networks, we use messaging protocols like Flex, like Zero, Hyperlane, and we aggregate them. So we can aggregate different messaging protocols, receive data from the block, and we can read like all the transactions that we have. Also, we do like collaboration with Saxon. We build with them 1-2x ZK-like clients. So we can like generate ZK group, put it in a smart contract of like clients, and we can read everything that is going to happen there. So this combination help us to make a cache validation. So when the dollars, they do a lot of transactions, they can do a lot of different intents. It can be not only the swap liquidity, you can put any kind of intent there. It's going to be like if you want to sell or buy some, let's say NFT collection, or you want to work with some kind of intents when you put it in a pool, in yield, whatever. So combination of dash mode, I think is also one of the really important topics. As a result, we have a difference in the time because validation for each transaction usually takes a long time. We need to wait for this, and also if we use a combination with tests, we also need to wait for this. In the rates, it's also a difference because we don't need to share a lot of commissions with all the intermediates and gas costs. Right now we have a 6K gas cost for one on-chain transaction. You can contact me directly if you have any questions.
I just want to say a couple of things. You can see us as an example of a product that works on application level. And when we started to think about this concept of cross-chain swaps, we thought like, okay, we need cheap, fast, and of course secure swaps. We need to choose the solutions like what we have. We have different cross-chain protocols, cross-chain message protocols, and different solutions like light clients, decay-like clients. We choose first. We choose the most secure way, as we thought it was light clients, decay-like clients. and that was our initial concept. But then, yeah, this was a challenge for us, like to go deeper to the layers like security layer. We initially we focused on like things like think about rates, but like we can connect users with market makers, like we can provide some kind of abilities for trading strategies, but still we need also to think about security, and we also take this part, and that's why everything we discuss now, the standardization, the aggregation of solutions in the proper way, like to say, to make it usable for many projects, like who can build on top of these two layers and build their solution and application layer. So yeah, that's that point. That's why we want also to contribute, like in this early stage of this idea to make cross-chain security much efficient as it can be. Thank you.
It was a really main point that we would like to make a contribution and connect different like message protocols and create layers for different applications which can be built on top of this. Thank you.
So nothing to go over. I think it's the first round table. Really something we already covered. A lot of stuff in my part, and yeah, Sebastian will be moderating the session.
Hi all. I know this is difficult, not only because there's so many open questions and there's so many, not very well defined interfaces, and also there's cake outside, which is a, intent-based driver. But still, I'm happy we got together here, and I would say, let me just kick it off with a very deeply personal story. There's some people who are not here right now. And the people who are not here right now are, for example, Roman Semenov, Roman Storm, and Alex Perzak. And we can say that, there's a failed state of the United States and there are failed institutions coming after them. But actually, that's just an excuse. Because basically what happened was, Tornado Cash got sanctioned based on a bunch of hacks. And they happened because we, as an industry, kind of failed to secure assets. And I'm very happy that there's people here coming together to try to make it better, that these really big hacks don't happen, so that the really bad regulators don't come after the people who actually, at the end of the food chain, build free and open source software. So I really hope we can get together and we can make something better than what it is today. Now, not everything is as bad as that. We did talk about some security topics. There's a bunch of other issues as well. And I would like to kick it off with some user stories on the interoperability and user experience side that we agree that we want to focus on. Maybe that is a way of structuring it a bit easier. So I would just like to pass it around and kick it off with concise user stories in this topic that you would like to us to see tackled and discussed here.
Are we still recording?
Sorry?
Are we still recording?
Do we prefer to not?
It should not be recorded.
Not recorded.
We architected the protocol is censorship resistant, so sequentially not to reinforce messaging, and this is one thing that I really resonated with when I joined the team. Why I invited Ilya from the Mill Foundation is because alongside Polyhedra ZK-like client, which they built and chose to run exclusively within Layer 0, using Layer 0 as a distribution platform, and then allowing application developers to use the unified semantics and interface to access the security of their ZK-like client rather than building a whole separate bridge and having a whole separate go-to-market motion and everything. Layer 0 is its distribution mechanism. There's alongside that chain links DON, a more centralized option, which is the Google Cloud Oracle, the TSS as well. The NIL Foundation has now been working on a very, very special and interesting ZK Oracle type product. So application developers can also select this as an option as part of the validation layer. So I'll stop there because I'm really trying to keep it to 5 minutes. Ilya, if you'd like to come up and introduce yourself.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Ilya, and I'm protocol staff engineer at the Foundation. And I would like to tell you a bit more how we see the solution of building new generation of ZK bridges and ZK-based solutions. Probably you heard about the product ZK Sharding, but I will tell you a bit about our proof market and ZK LLVM. So, like Irene mentioned about distribution, we are looking at distribution of proof producers that we can offer by using proof market that actually can simplify your proof generation and actually make it simple, make it fast, make it cheap, and actually make it rather secure. Because this is a decentralized marketplace where you can order your proofs and get them and secure them on the market meet. But along with the ZK LLVM, where you can generate your C++ or Rust code into the circuit, that can be used later on the proof market. We have a closed data system that can simplify, for example, building ZK bridges, like this layer 0, and building any ZK bridge with any platform can be very simple because you are actually building it like bricks, where everything stays decentralized and secure. So actually, in Foundation, we are working on this solution, and actually, we'll try to integrate with layer 0 to simplify and provide the market with new and more advanced solutions.
Can you define what a proof market is?
Yeah, so a proof market is a decentralized marketplace where you just have two options. Like if you're a proof producer, you come on the market and order your some computational power expertise and your, of course, time and energy. At the same time, customers come and want to buy some proofs. So you just find a bench by just bits, just use your bit system, where you can, the fastest, best proof producer will find a match with the most suitable application from a user. So actually by this means everything is related by those market means, but at the same time it's still completely decentralized. We don't manage proof producers, we don't manage clients, but it still can be used from any other networks and can be ordered just simply using our endpoints.
What kind of application would you want to use it as a others requirements within?
Yeah. Just to understand how important can be proof market, our ZK sharding solution will be based on the proof market as a source of reliable generation as a tool to get this proof for our system. And we can offer opportunity for ZK bridges, ZK oracles, or ZK ML to come on the proof market and get your proof as cheap as possible, depending, of course, on some parameters that you want, like complexity and sign-on you want. So everything is completely based on the market.
Any interest in that?
Yeah. Thank you.
If you want to take a couple of questions.
Yeah, I told you I have to leave shortly, but I'll stay for less than 5 minutes. There are questions. Heather doesn't want questions? Oh, the red light.
No recording. Yeah, but just if wanted to talk. Please,
Yeah. So, hi, I'm Yusuf. So, I do ZK Electron Labs, and what we have been trying to do at Electron is basically ZK bridges. And yeah, so I'll try to basically elaborate on how ZK bridges work and what's our underlying infra that powers that ZK bridge, and many other messengers which use our ZK layer as kind of transporting the messages to and from chains. So, kind of what we are trying to solve is we have two chains and we want to move to and fro. So how it works is we have lifelines for each chain on the opposite chain, but running these lifelines is technically very expensive if you try to do it as it is, because there's a lot of signature verification, there's a lot of state updations and stuff like that. So we try to compress that stuff within a ZK proof. And yeah, so essentially what we do is we run the ZK lifeline of chain B on chain A and the ZK lifeline of chain A on chain B, and try to transport those messages completely trustlessly. And when I say trustlessly, that basically means anybody here can run a user and they can't basically cheat and do a fraudulent transaction on a destination chain. So yeah, and how that ZK infra works is, for just mentioning the stack over here. So we use, for a lot of signature compression, we use Starkey, and for a lot of recursion, we use longitude, and we use a combination of stars and stars both. And for cheap EVM verification or cheap on-chain verification, we basically use a Block 16 level. So yeah. Now the problem is when you run a ZK lifeline, even when you run a simple lifeline or even run a ZK lifeline, it will cost you. If I try to run, let's say, some lifeline, for example, of Near on Ethereum, it will take you about 1 million gas, even if you run a Block 16 lifeline on Ethereum, and you have to do it on every epoch change. And a lot of times you won't even have a transaction on every epoch change, so most of this gas is going to waste. So we are trying to solve that problem using recursion, and what we do is we take a lot of blocks, we recurse them together till we have a transaction, and we submit that final proof that we have recursed till this block, and we put it on chain. And then any transaction which has happened in that block can be easily verified using the proof. So yeah, that's how basically we try to make ZK bridges work, and we also have one live on mainnet. And yeah, so also we have ZK lifelines which are currently working on Cosmos, and the other one is working on Mirror.